So sometimes this gets tough. Sometimes this is not easy. It's very difficult. I consider myself extremely lucky, super blessed. I do what I love for a living. Survival and preparedness is not just my job, it's a passion for me. This is what I do all day long. No matter what if we're traveling, we're going for a hike, walking, running errands, whatever it is that I'm doing, or working or doing stuff like this in front of the computer and whatnot. It is in my head all day long, and I just love doing this. But it's also very difficult at times. At times, you have to learn about things that are not pleasant. And I'm not exactly a delicate snowflake. I've seen some pretty awful shit in life. I would say that more than a fair share of that. And that's just the way it goes. It's where you were born, the things you've experienced, the things you've seen, and just stuff that happens. And then you see better, and that's all good. But it usually stays with you. It also happens that some of the things you see, even on a screen, a video of some awful shit, that also stays with you at times. There's things that you just see and you just cannot unsee it, even when it's on a video like this. And some of you guys probably know, and some guys are very much into the gore stuff, and there's something to be learned there about what happens when shit goes horribly bad, what happens when people get hurt, what happens when disasters strike, what happens when bad people do bad things. I think that some of the worst things I've seen involving what cartels do to people and such, that is, you don't want to do that. My wife tells me, stop, just never see that stuff again, because just once or twice really is all you need to have. It's not nightmares. You're not going to have any, I at least don't have any nightmares or anything like that. But you probably know what I'm talking about. When you have that feeling that, oh, fuck, I'm dying on the inside because I've seen this. You don't want to see, you should not see it anymore. And yet, at times, I have to see it again. For example, what Israel did to these people yesterday by burning the plastic on top of all of these kids, that is fucked up. They were still very much alive, and it was like fucking hell seeing that. I suggest you don't go watch it. That would be my advice. But if you have to see it, I don't know, do your thing. That is messed up. It was also messed up to hear the audio clip. What was she called 911? She called an emergency service. It was a little girl. She was in a car while being shot at by IDF. And she was, I'm scared, Mom, Dad, I'm scared. And she kept on getting shot. And they finally, 200 times they shot that car with that little girl inside. Yeah, that was a huge threat to the peace of Netanyahu, I assume. But is that any worse than the thousands of people they've blown shit out of? 2 million people with their homes destroyed and displaced. And I'm not an inclusive person. I never pretend to be that. But I'm not a monster either. I'm not a fucking monster. I don't want people to take over other countries, especially not illegally. But I don't want people to go through this shit. That's not right. Especially when you are staying in your place, when you are you're not doing anything. Who the hell did you? Why is this being done to you? Because of what? Territorial ambition? Because more oil for someone, more money for someone else, more contracts for whoever that it may be. Mostly land, I guess, these days, given how things are going. Yeah, just for a chunk more of land. That's what apparently is. Or just hating the guts out of people. It is fucked up. I'm Catholic, but really not a super religious person, and less by the day, given everything that goes on. I still do have an increased appreciation for the Christian traditions, not Judeo-Christian tradition. That is clearly not a word that should exist. It's not Judeo-Christian. You're either Judeo-tradition or Christian tradition. It's one of those things where words matter. I saw a video that was from Matt Walsh He was talking about he was one of these debates that he has with one of these liberals. And why do you care so much what marriage is? Marriage now, according to the dictionary, marriage is the union between two people and blah blah blah. Well, I don't give a fuck if Merriam-Webster or Wikipedia now says that marriage is something else. I don't care if tomorrow it says that a dog is anyone that identifies as a fucking dog. I still know what a dog is. I still know what marriage is. Marriage is a religious union between a man and a woman. You may pretend to be that it means something else. You know, like we don't know what a woman is these days. We don't know what a man is. We apparently don't know what a fucking Christian is anymore these days. And what you should stand for. Yeah. Apparently that's something that a lot of Christians in America apparently forgot what being a fucking Christian actually means. Like, don't go slaughtering other fucking Christians. That would be the Christian thing to do, right? I don't want to get angry. I don't want to get pissed. I know that lots of the comments here are from the fucking evil agency that just does this all day long. Just comment, oh, fuck you, you're right. It is laughable. But this is not laughable. It's not laughable yesterday to see all of those people burn in melted plastic, burning plastic in their skin, burning like in hell. A hell that those people were thrown in with with direct aid and using the actual weapons from the United States. This is now, so we've gone from having a French energy infrastructure in Lebanon being bombed because Netanyahu was pissed at Macron. Then they attacked the UN outposts, those evil blue helmets that are going to come take my guns, of course. So yeah, screw them. All right, so screw the people, screw the Palestinians, screw the Lebanese people, screw the French people, the French companies, screw Macron. Yeah, absolutely, screw that motherfucker. Screw the Spanish, Italian, French, Irish in that UN base, and now screw these Christians in a mostly Christian town that was completely had no military asset of any kind, whatever you want to call it, because these days we just throw words around without giving a fuck about what they actually mean or not. But yeah, a town, a peaceful town that had there was no military, just blowing the shit out of a bunch of Christians, guys. That's what they're doing now. All right. I've been talking about this. I said, hey, why are you targeting a church again? Why are you shooting fucking nuns in a church in Gaza? Mother and daughter sheltering in a church. Why are those being? What about all of the people in the other church that was standing there for almost 1,000 years? You blew that up too? Why? Why are you fucking blowing up churches all throughout the Middle East? You certainly don't welcome them at all. You're not allowed into your damn country. 1%, listen, 1%. Lebanon, 30, 40%, is it? Okay. Yeah, that's interesting. Fucking Iran has more Christians than you. And you are the one that's going to be financing this shit as a Christian from the United States? How dumb can you be to finance this? The blowing up of Christians with money being donated at times. Yes, there's people that donate. Donated by Christians and by the evangelical lobby in US. That's really what it is. Bunch of fucking snakes. Just like the politicians, all of them. So yeah, if there is a hell, they will all rot in it. I have no doubt whatsoever. But again, not really much of a religious person, especially not these days. So yeah, I usually see awful people. Another thing that I've learned over the years is awful people usually do get away with it. The more of a piece of shit, the more of a scumbag you are, if that comes naturally to you, well, you're lucky, my man, because the world does benefit you. The world benefits the people that are the most unscrupulous, capable of doing absolutely anything at all. Yeah, the Red Cross over there. Yeah, that's their job, right? Yeah. Those people usually fare the best. If you have no morals, if you have no concept of ever doing. If you enjoy being a complete monster, the world is your oyster. Now, if you have values, if you have decency, if you are actually an actual religious person, if you're actually a Christian person, and you see the blowing up of innocent people and fellow Christians, it should not make a difference. It doesn't matter if it's 20 little kids, Palestinians are burning in plastic, in melted plastic from the tarps, because they already blew up all of the schools. They already blew up all of the hospitals. They blew up the university, laughing while they were placing demolition explosives in universities, and laughing and doing a fucking TikTok video as they were doing. There was no hostile anything. It's all online. You just have to give a fuck and actually look it up. But how many civilian infrastructure, hospitals, schools, they laugh as they blow up like, you're not getting your degree, boom, and blowing. I mean, who the fuck thinks that's funny? What kind of fucking monster thinks that's funny? I don't know, maybe the same monster that thinks that blowing up these people, and yes, exactly, that's exactly it. If you consider that's okay to kill a bunch of people because they look a little bit different from you, or because they have another religion, or they live in a different part of the world, or speak with a different accent or language, fucking speak. Most of those people have been living so long under the aid from the international community. Most of those people speak fucking English. Those people have more affinity with your values than the ones you think. Watch the video, the previous video I uploaded. So there's going to be a point in which you have to, if you have a pair of balls, if you have any guts, there's a moment in which you have to speak up for what's right. If you're religious, even more so. Which is kind of like, that's a fucking big red flag. People that claim to be religious and support this monstrosity here, that is messed up. But even if you have to speak up about, this is not okay. Like the CIA Navy SEAL guy from the Joe Rogan interview, the guy, I don't know if I uploaded already or not. I'll do it later if it's not the case. But this former Navy SEAL, CIA Special Operations dude that also worked for Blackwater. So he had all of the cool guy military credentials. Fucking bald. 40, 50, I don't know. Grown-ass man, no doubt. He's done lots of this shit. He's been to the Middle East and he was talking with Joe, talking with Joe Rogan at the ripe old age that he's in. He said, "You know what, Joe? We're not the good guys, are we? I now realize we're not the good guys. Okay, I take that. We're not the good guys, sure. So you've been to war, you've been part of something that you later realize you don't agree with. That kind of sucks. I've known guys that have done these things and then regret it, and they either have wounds to show for it. I think that the ones here are the ones that hurt the most. I would have done the exact same thing. If I was there, if I was the one that was being invaded, I would have shot at me too. That has to leave something in you. If you have a heart, which I know lots of these guys, at least the ones I know, have, and you see how it eats them up on the inside. It fucks them up because they realize that, they got you at the right age. You were young and full of, gun-ho, and then you realize, well, the gun-ho part is cool. It's not so cool when you do it against people that you later realize you probably shouldn't have. But I'm just taking orders. Well, the same goes for the most horrible shit done in humanity ever. So it doesn't really fly, does it? And especially not when you had the option of not even going or doing these things if you didn't want. But I get it. You're young, you do things, but then you have to live with that regret. Well, there's people that regret what they've done. There's people... Guys, there's people that don't regret a goddamn thing at all. And they love this. They love watching people burn. Literally. They love watching that. They have no... And if you don't believe me, Look it up yourselves. I'm done. I'm done looking at people laughing at the destruction, slaughtering, genocidal, maniac lunacy against men, women, and children. I'm done. I don't think it's funny. So if they want to upload that shit to TikTok all day long, be my guest. Hearing some of the politicians like, yeah, we're gonna slaughter them all. Okay, but there's people like that. There's people that love what they're doing and they don't plan on changing. They will continue doing it. So yesterday was the Palestinians in the refugee camp. Now it's the Christians in Lebanon in a town, in a village that had no military capability of any kind. There was no tactical reason for doing any of this other than just blow up a bunch of Lebanese Christians, which is what they did. With your money, by the way, and mine too. Yeah, that sucks. But anyway, at least we have the balls here to call it out and show it as it is. It's not easy. I guess that I get it that for a lot of people it's not easy, but it's the right thing to do. See you later.